I hope you're doing well as we begin this new year. I want to talk about marketing in this course because I think it will help a lot of you grow your business, expand it, or start a new one and introduce goods and services that you can sell to your own contacts and boost sales. You are going to learn more about these things. Let's get to the point now. Before doing anything in business, you should think through and investigate a number of conversations for yourself. Determine the issue and its primary concern. Any issue it may have may serve as a cue for you to provide a service to it. By conducting market research and applying the lessons I will impart to you throughout the course, you will become aware of potential issues your contacts may be facing. We have now located the issue. Then, what ought we do? Then, given the situation and the necessity, we must devise a service or solution. Note that I said service rather than product because, in the business world, there is no such thing as a product per se. Instead, even those who sell products must provide services, and if you do your business well, the products you sell will inevitably support poor advice, poor after-sales care, and, in the end, you will conclude that there is nothing good about business services. Alright, so it's crucial to keep in mind. We now offer the customer a solution or service after learning about their needs and the nature of their problem. However, bear in mind that when you acquire services, rivals are also providing or offering the services you provide to your clients. Until you are certain that the client is satisfied and purchases from you, you need to maintain a competitive edge over your rivals. To this end, attempt to find out what services and requirements your rivals have, as well as the issues and problems that clients are facing. However, they disregard. I refer to your rivals, and they do not provide those services to your clients. Consider how this might be a throwback for your company. Is it, though? That is, when you offer a good or service. You should make an effort to provide the client goods or services that, to them, are nothing more than garbage. You should also make every effort to present your own services and solutions to prospective clients in the best manner possible, following our instructions. After that, we present it as an advertisement to help the client understand that there is an issue. You want to sell a lot of your products because of this. If you work in the advertising industry, perform well and demonstrate your responsibilities beyond the primary advertising parameters. Fantastic growth for your company and yourself. But don't worry, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to make sure your ads run as well as possible and have the best chance of working for you in the advertising section of this course. You should think about the kind of offer you will make to your customers when it comes to the promotional section. You see, you need to grab our audience's interest. Take action in ways that appeal to their audience in order to get their attention. It's not really that important that other people promote this. Avoid making other people appear on social media and avoid doing repetitive or routine tasks. Take unique actions that fit your own brand, business, and aesthetic. Be distinctive in your own right. That is going to grab your attention and make you feel uncomfortable. Customer service is the last section of a general business plan, and there are 1,001 other things that can assist you in doing this promotion section as effectively as possible. Word-of-mouth advertising is one of those things. When they sell and promote our products, keep your customers and a large number of people. They are aware that it is finished. No, it's just the beginning. When you sell your products, you essentially do this. Take action that will encourage customers to purchase from you in the future. Customers who have previously purchased from you will save you time and effort, so you will be able to make repurchases, which is very advantageous. Repurchase from customers who are new to you or who choose to make their first purchase from you. The customer should be supported in every manner by the support department, so it's crucial that you pay close attention to the after-sales service and the things you can do once the sale is completed. Support entails more than just returning calls and sending messages. As an alternative, you want to provide the best after-sales support for your goods and services. After they receive your product, give them a call. If your merchandise is pricey. However, in case your product falls in between the usual and premium price ranges, leave him a note. For instance, if you purchase a book, send the customer a message to check on their health and satisfaction when the book arrives. Provide recommendations or recommendations. One of the product's after-sales support branches is this one. I want you to know that responding to messages is a bigger part of product support than just thinking about it. However, we also aim to restore our after-sales service to the best standard feasible, taking into account the services provided by your rivals. Tighten and establish a stronger bond with the customer by filling in the gaps that you neglect to do so when your lack of concern is apparent to them. Additionally, make an effort to accomplish something that will give you a competitive edge and make your consumers pleased. The final item is a service that can help you grow your business, so you should try to offer it. For instance, if you sell a product and, after a while, a problem arises, you should try to resolve it with the customer as best you can, ensuring their satisfaction. You should also conduct a survey to make it easier for them to make another purchase from you. You may be confident that a happy customer will show you around their surroundings, since you are aware of if your next product or service will face difficulties. Additionally, you don't leave the back vacant. This is crucial, and you should make an effort to assist customers who have made excessive purchases. Recall that I previously stated to take into account your own rivals in the after-sales service. To ensure that your company rises to higher positions and, thus, has larger income and profit for you, look at the things they don't provide that the consumer requires and offer the same. Well done, bye. Greetings from this section of the marketing. To help you get the best marketing possible, let me now tell you about two main types of marketing. In general, there are two main types of marketing: traditional marketing and digital marketing, also known as online marketing. As most of you are aware, digital marketing is more popular these days and has the potential to generate more revenue by encouraging people to engage in more interactions with it. However, this does not mean that traditional marketing should be ignored. Let me explain why. You see, occasionally our target contacts belong to a specific age range or live in a particular neighborhood. They are not particularly active on social media and the internet, and as I mentioned in our last discussion, it is critical to identify where your target audience is. What are their requirements and issues? It's also untrue if our contacts belong to a demographic that is more prevalent offline, such retirees or other persons over 50 who dislike and don't have a positive relationship with the internet. It's a mistake to expose yourself to people who are not part of your target audience through digital marketing, but if you can see that they are present in both channels, it makes sense to invest more time and effort in this area, since the cost is higher even though it costs less. Now let's tell you exactly what this means. Is the first thing we have in traditional marketing. Print advertisements are. We have a type of advertising in the traditional space that print brochures, print advertisements on paper in houses and give to people in different ways, and this can print the photo of this advertisement that we want in a neighborhood and a part of a city or a city name there as a brand. We run print ads in such neighborhoods. For instance, businesses that provide beauty services or those that offer house cleaning services in a specific area of a city or neighborhood are able to run print advertisements, as are the methods that the majority of you have seen, such as printing brochures and distributing them to homes in various ways. The next example of outdoor advertising is the kind that we see banners placed inside cities in various locations within cities, which should also be targeted so that we know where the most targeted cities are. Here are open outdoor advertisements. Additionally, if you would like to promote your own makeup, we will be announcing more of our work in that section. Discover the locations of your possible clients. If you sell women's makeup, for instance, target women by placing your advertisements in settings like dance studios, yoga centers, and other places where they congregate. More importantly, consider their age, gender, and any potential problems they may have. Make an effort to fully research the target market you plan to serve and be aware of all the traits it possesses. The more precise the data you have, you'll draw in more quality viewers, receive better advertising, and eventually make more money. The next kind of advertising is called a broadcast advertisement, which is not done on television or radio. You can do it if your business has consumed its level up. Naturally, the price is a little more than with the earlier techniques, but branding accounts for the majority of this kind of advertising. This advertisement helps you maintain brand awareness and grow your own sales over time, not just for direct sales. For instance, Coca-Cola continues to advertise on TV, YouTube, and social media despite being better than its rivals in the non-alcoholic beverage market. Furthermore, maintaining the brand name for the consumer comes at a high cost. Direct mail advertisements are more common in the US and Canada. Customers receive identical advertising letters through emails in this type of advertising. Both the gifts and the services will be delivered right to their door. For instance, those who perform home repairs. They can locate homeowners who are prepared to renovate using this kind of advertising. I can provide you with the code number at my address. We learn all of this information over time. Or speak with the neighbors about houses that are being renovated or that were built more than 20 years ago. Additionally, they can offer competitors with the best quality at the lowest cost for services like house painting, carpentry, or plumbing. Naturally, they can offer their own bodies or write letters to those in need, encouraging them to read the letter and request assistance from you in rebuilding our homes. It can be precisely targeted to the people who are interested in your goods or services. This kind of calling-based marketing is known as telemarketing. For example, I employed several people to rent town halls that we had rented on various routes. Telemarketing is a sort of advertising that, if you have the funds, can be very beneficial to your business. It involves calling businesses, proposing prices, and assisting them with running their advertisements on those billboards. Since it doesn't cost a lot, you should check the type of business card you use and see if this is how your customers feel more comfortable. For instance, real estate agents used to focus all of their efforts on one thing, but these days, individuals can find their own home on a variety of websites and the internet. In the real estate industry, there is still, of course, telemarketing. Generally speaking, you need to understand the speaker's psychology. To please the audience, you must ascertain its needs and issues and attempt to address them with a particular style of speech and empathy. You need to take specific courses on your own for telemarketing, as a result of its specialty. However, you are aware of how helpful this can be for both conventional and even digital marketing. The trade show comes next. In a traditional marketplace, this kind of marketing tells you that you have to visit the exhibitions. Attend exhibits in various nations and cities if you sell goods or provide services. To demonstrate your offerings to potential clients and make an effort to include an option for them in order to get their input. Provide your phone number and email address, so it's crucial that you have a job in the show. To draw as much attention to yourself as possible. In any way you can, draw attention to yourself and then introduce the specific services you want to offer. Try to get their phone numbers and emails until you later sell to the same people because they can. Examples of this include tapping into a particular decor, bringing a particular product or service, bringing beautiful staff and with a particular type, or even if you have a particular clothes that you are alone therein. Even if you are a producer as well as a general seller, your potential customer will have a lot of positive purchases from you. Next up is word-of-mouth marketing, which helps you present your business, services, and products in a way that people themselves recommend them. One important note regarding word-of-mouth marketing is that you should strive to present your goods and services in the best possible way, with the best quality, so that the audience gets as much assistance as they require and feels truly appreciated. Only then will they come to announce you and introduce your goods and services to your acquaintances. The most recent event sponsorship is this one. Why is it that advertisements for singing concerts can be so helpful when you see them at various concerts? Or visit your preferred theater? Since they are feeling happy. Your brain secretes a lot of dopamine. Anything that appears appealing to the eye is because, should you attend your favorite artist's concert and notice their advertisements there, those commercials will stick in your memory for a very long time. Why? Because the advertisement and the company it promotes cause your brain to release a lot of dopamine, you start to feel good about that artist and the advertisement in general. It's crucial, so if at all possible, try to finance your own ventures and goods in collaboration with well-known artists. More importantly, though, do so with those who have a positive impact on the community and are loved and trusted by others. Someone who looks for these people and offers to give your goods and services to them for free or even pay them money might not even be a very well-known person. It could be a peasant, a mayor, or anything in between. To promote you because those individuals are trustworthy, those who are interested in your products will also be trustworthy, and everyone will think your products are alright. However, try to maintain a high standard of work throughout all of these phases, because if it isn't, you will fall short at every turn. Achieve success. Now that we have an explanation of digital marketing, let's look at the first example, which is online analysis. The use of tools such as Google Analytics is crucial in the field of digital marketing. In the review and analysis portion of this course, I will tell you everything you need to know to ensure that you thoroughly assess your own company and that your audience is currently experiencing difficulties with it. Is there an issue with the assistance? Is your website broken? What is the awkward part of your conversation? Where will your conversation leave your company? Is it leaving your website? Not only the website, but also your social media accounts and other online content that we evaluate for the audience down below, to assist you in giving your coworkers greater and better service. Alright? SEO comes next. You probably don't know many of them, SGE, and I'll explain why in this instance. I'm sure many of you are familiar with SEO. Optimization for search engines. In order for audiences to naturally click on and visit your website, Google optimizes your site using a set of steps that you must complete on your own. Fresh search engines such as Google, Bing, and others. Google is attempting to incorporate artificial intelligence into their results. He makes an effort to highlight the websites that demonstrate the desired result rapidly. Additionally, it concentrates more on websites that offer demanding, thorough, and timely responses. For this reason, the words of the results are no longer the only thing the audience sees when searching for a question or text in SGE. Rather, your content appears in relation to the particular questions he answers. The artificial intelligence of Google examines this as well. The kinds of advertisements we have are the next aspect of advertising. PPC advertising, which is used in digital marketing, is for each click you see on Google. Depending on the kind of product you sell, your PPC advertising costs will vary depending on your business. For instance, a real estate agent would pay Google more for PPC advertising than a toy seller would. Why? Since the individual who benefits from Google has stated that you must gain more from me. Alright? Thus, the model I'll be using for this PPC advertising is one that Google will provide. With CPC advertising, the business you have a contract with keeps your money for each click on each targeted advertisement. For instance, the banner advertisements you see on different websites may be a particular kind of CPC ad, or cost per click. The acronym for cost per action is CPA. Stated differently, an action has a cost. Installing an app, for instance, is an example of a type of advertisement you may see in various apps. This type of advertisement is typically CPA, meaning that it is in response to the company's practice that is advertised as helping consumers save money. They may install the app, make a purchase, take an action, or do anything else that I will explain to you in my advertisement section. However, I have provided some examples of this type of advertisement here to assist you. Digital marketing, social media marketing, and social media advertising is the next section. Social media marketing is more suited for those who wish to post content on social networks and draw in natural audiences for these two distinct reasons. Adopting various approaches to follow followers. You can post anything on a variety of networks, including Telegram, Instagram, and YouTube, to draw in business from your contacts without charging them for your services. Social media ads are this. For example, Instagram requires payment in order for you to advertise there. Instagram ads on its own network will be more beneficial for branding. The majority of you have probably seen this YouTube video as well. More chances to build the brand's recognition, grab the public's interest, and ask them for information in exchange for a proposal. Facebook advertisements are also available. That is more for the direct sale of high-quality, directly useful products. Social networks come in various forms. You can offer your own product and accept payments within it. I will instruct you on how to act in advertising to increase revenue during the advertising session. Although it is true that in the email marketing session, I will explain how it can help you sell to customers who buy from you only once and show your customers to be loyal to yourself. This is a very helpful research that can help you sell to a customer several times and make a lot of profit. Advise a customer to sell multiple times, as this is crucial. Your advertising expenses will drop dramatically as a result, and your profits will rise dramatically. Next is content marketing. What will be included in this? For instance, a person who makes websites makes content for their own blogs and posts, which they can use to get a Google entry or to post on a site, create an entry, and update their blog. One kind of content marketing is social media marketing. You can build your own audience by making videos and posting them on social media. Affiliate marketing is a company that sells other people's products. They give those sellers a portion of their profits. For instance, you can register with the Amazon seller when you visit the Amazon website. You will be provided with a unique link in the Amazon affiliate section called your last link. This link is specific to you and anyone can click on it from anywhere on the internet to purchase the product, or they can buy it and return to Amazon within a few days. And occasionally with certain businesses and brands, there's a chance that even if the customer doesn't buy and sell and goes away from the website a few days later without using your link, you could still make money and get paid for the full cart. For those who work as affiliates, this can be very advantageous. As a business owner, you can now use this capability in your own ventures. If you own a WordPress website, you can look for and install a plugin that opens up the possibility of affiliate marketing on your website. If you are in the media, you will undoubtedly engage in affiliate marketing, and if you have a website, you will undoubtedly offer this service. For instance, you could make a poor recommendation to well-known individuals so they could write a post, give everyone who purchases from them a discount, and keep a portion of their earnings. Bad people are advertising to you and giving you customers in exchange for the benefits you provide, and this is entirely for your benefit because it is not as profitable or expensive to advertise. Influencer marketing comes last. Because there are users with a large following on social media. They want to make money from you, and some even want to receive free services or goods from you, and those who influence you are also influenced. They can have a significant impact on the community by making people famous in every industry you can promote and partner with. You sell to them because he has clout. Like an artist in traditional marketing, he can have a positive effect on himself, and people are happy because they are looking for it. Naturally, it can also assist you in establishing your value and positivity in their eyes. Additionally, if the quality of your card is good, you can sell to the same customers repeatedly without having to pay for each purchase. Keep in mind that quality is the most crucial aspect of your business, so you must be cautious and take your time. Additionally, if a customer purchases from you only once, it will be credible for them to do so again. To mature. Achieve success. In this session, I would like to discuss the 4 Ps of marketing. The 4 Ps of maximum marketing demonstrate the fundamentals of business. Which 4 points are there? The initial item. In order to expand the concrete market and meet the needs of our target audience, our product needs to have a number of features. The second factor is price. Our services must be priced according to the correct guidelines. It requires that you have a solid plan in place. To fund our mission, we must make payments. The average target is the goal. As for the price, well, it has to be high and costly if it is rich and high level. If not many people buy it. Even when your product is excellent. The location comes next. Whether it is a physical or digital place, there is no distinction between the places we have. Understanding our position in the industry is crucial. The final promotion is this one. Our goal is to spread the word about our company. Our task is to make our product available to as many people as possible. Let's examine each one now and discuss it in detail. The initial item. Package design comes first. Your product needs a unique packaging. It ought to be packaged so that, in contrast to other goods, it draws attention. Make a distinction between your product and that of your rival. With the help of this tool, the packaging, you ought to be able to convince a large audience that your product is worthy and distinct from those of your competitors. In their minds, you can tell them something different. Features comes next. What goods do we offer? With these features, what needs are met? What exactly does he talk about when he talks? What exactly does he do? It is crucial that you are able to provide accurate and persuasive answers to these questions. In a sense, we have to do this. The qualities we hope to acquire from our conversation. Describe it in practical terms. Not only with regard to the goods and services offered by the seller. As I mentioned to you at our last meeting, everything we provide to customers is considered a service rather than a product in our business. Please remember this when providing service. We essentially provide services in addition to products when we offer them. This perspective allows you to see the company more widely and transparently, which improves your ability to provide customers with the same high caliber of service. The brand name comes next. What mental, as opposed to visual, effects does your brand name have on your speech? What effect does your product's brand have? And how does it affect your brand differently than your product? Coca-Cola is a brand whose name, color, and identity are all combined. One of your main goals should be to establish a connection between your brand's names, products, and other elements. Quality should come last. When purchasing raw materials for your products, don't let price be your first consideration. Instead, focus on maintaining the highest possible standard of product quality and avoid wasting money on sales. Don't cut the price. If you set it high, you'll attract clients of your own. But nobody will buy from you if your quality is poor. Take caution when doing this. There are a few local locations where you are present, and that is where the next case is located. To showcase your own goods and to provide services. What location is that? In what way would you like to speak with yourself? And does it contain the location where you are talking about your objective? This is a crucial issue, and the next one is distribution. A common misconception regarding distribution is that in order to offer and promote our products, we must first determine the locations of our target audiences. Channel, which is essentially the same channel via which we deliver our products, is the next item to discuss. Knowing the channels and locations through which we wish to distribute our products is crucial. We can reach customers through various channels such as Instagram, Telegram, or a physical store. By using these channels, we can effectively reach a wider audience. Where you should be mentioned in the business plan. In what way would you introduce him? You must examine each of these items to determine whether or not your contacts are located there. Go to the locations and paths where your goal is present, whether you are running or not. The promotion comes next. There are primarily two items. These are the two primary forms of advertising, though there are many others. We need to use commercials to present and market our products. Look, even though many believe that these brands are now well known to everyone on the planet, Coca-Cola, Mercedes, Apple, Tesla, and Pepsi are just a few of the large corporations in the world that constantly have advertisements on the market. Why is body communication necessary? The rationale is that if you don't advertise, the market will pass you by since there is so much competition. The market is overrun by rivals, so as an advertiser with a good or service to offer, you should constantly aim to be present. In your own business, always strive to have advertising as a partner. Always allocate a portion of your company's budget to advertising. Public relations comes next. Make an effort to market your company to rivals. Strive to obtain credit from your rivals while remaining cordial. Give them to Leo. Meet with them, attend the performances, and make an effort to show yourself in a way that turns the audience that your rival is trying to attract to you away. This isn't done in vain, rather, it's done to take credit for work that benefits both you and your rival. You also try to cultivate a cordial relationship with your contacts by using email marketing and chat platforms to connect with them. Ultimately, you want to cherish your relationships with yourself and each other. Sellers and customers can not only help you sell yourself a lot, but they can also make it much easier for you to pay for future sales because they will buy more easily from you when you offer a new product because they trust you. These individuals are the first in line for the products you buy, and they constantly work to build positive relationships for your company with the market and its participants as buyers, sellers, and competitors. The cost comes next. There are a few sections in this case, the three most significant ones being the discount, a type of discount that we should always offer in order to attract more clients. You see, when we sell our products at a lower profit, we don't receive discounts. Discounts boost sales in our business, not just the sales of our products, which in turn boosts profits. However, if you wish to adjust the discount, this is a mistake as our profits might remain the same and, in most cases, our benefits will drop. I'll give you an example of how it functions. This discount can be very beneficial for those who sell clothes. For instance, you can purchase 3 items from us and receive the third item for free if you purchase 2. Alternatively, we will give you a free product if you purchase a product and receive a second product from your friends. If you visit us more than 3 times to receive services, you can receive the 4th service free if you receive makeup or beauty services. Or that you will receive a 50% discount on your subsequent service if someone calls us for your beauty treatment. This kind of discount is far superior to the direct declaration of a 50% discount on products, which is incorrect. Make an effort to leave a few discount stages. For example, you could say that the first 100 customers to buy this product will receive a 20% discount if they buy it by this date. A 50% discount in addition to free shipping, free after-sales care, and free support may be offered as a kind of incentive for a customer to purchase from us. The payment method is the next scenario. Many of you restrict the payment options available to customers in your own business, for incorrect reasons that you may have in mind. To keep the customer's hand as open as possible, try to offer multiple payment options, such as MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, Stripes, and so on. Make an effort to open them all, including virtual money. Try to open these up so that customers who wish to purchase your product can do so with ease and credit card payments. It's crucial that you have no trouble paying and that doing it yourself is simple. Many sellers abandon many sales due to the same, losing the price, and many sellers cancel various payment methods because they forget about it. In terms of pricing, what is our approach to pricing a product and how do we determine its price? I'll be teaching you about the pricing strategy in our upcoming session. In order for you to achieve the best outcomes by following the model set by the world's largest and most prosperous companies, we want to examine some extremely helpful pricing techniques for your business in this session. There are a few primary approaches and numerous sub-programs, but let me just mention the primary goal and you'll learn about alternative pricing strategies, such as cost-plus pricing. In this instance, the pricing model is similar to that of a restaurant, where the goal is to sell pizza at a 100% profit margin prior to product launch and offering. You can decide how much of the profit you want to keep for yourself. For example, you can say, I want to make a profit of 50% or 100% on the product. If you figure out how much it costs to produce the product, you can make your own profit. For example, you could sell a pizza for $16 and make 100% profit on it. Competitive pricing comes next. It is appropriate for those who want to sell a product in a cutthroat industry, particularly those who consistently achieve average sales levels while selling their goods in highly competitive markets. If you want to sell a lamp in a competitive market, for instance, and it costs $10, you have to price it between $9 and $11 at the end to ensure a steady stream of sales. If you want sales to happen quickly and in large quantities, however, you'll need to use a different tactic. In penetration pricing, you establish a time frame and, within that period, you cut your product's price relative to your rivals. For instance, let's say you want to sell a glass on the market and your competitors are selling it for $20. You would then sell the glass for $12 for a month, informing everyone that the lower price is only available while supplies last. This is because, after that point, your customers don't expect you to receive that low of a price. Proclaim that your product will revert to its original price and that purchasing it from you will no longer require a prefix after this time. When you offer your products, you specify their price as high as possible, even though your competitors are able to contact you as much as possible after a period of time has been rejected or the time of your next product delivery is approaching. The price will be lower and lower than the original market price possible for products like Apple, which announce their prices up before they want to offer their products, and there are more specific people who want to keep their brand stronger than themselves. For example, when the price of the iPhone 15 has been high and it is going down, and when the iPhone 16 comes out, the price is not as high as the previous iPhone 15, and this has become pricing strategies. There's another pricing strategy about a campaign that I'll tell you at a marketing campaign meeting that it's separate. In this session, we'll be discussing a question that many of your friends may have heard of, but may not fully understand. Before I go into further detail, let me clarify that every successful business in the world has followed this, and every business that has failed has not. Failures and successes share the same parameters. If you want to succeed, you must be aware. Since this session is about SWOT analysis, you should be well versed in a few key areas. It is crucial that you understand this question and have the necessary information. Let me illustrate a few points with you before we get started. For instance, if your company employs 3 people for marketing, the first one might arrive one day and say, "I have good news." The next person might then say, "What next?" and add, "The store was very good today, and we could have good market sales." Finally, the next person might arrive the next day and tell you, "I have bad news." So what, May? For instance, one of our rivals offers extremely high-quality products at extremely low prices, making it a serious threat to us. The other party may arrive tomorrow and break the bad news. For instance, one of our rivals has cleverly improved his business and services while expanding into other nations, and as a result, our clients are attacking us and refusing to use our services any longer. We all arrive at the same conclusion, though, if we wish to expand our businesses. In business, we have to put a lot of things into consideration and ignore our personal grievances and sentiments. Our company will fail 100% of the time, and you have to always abide by certain rules if you want your business to expand. I want to stress that having a website, an Instagram page, and a Facebook page do not guarantee success. This can be used on a website or an Instagram page, and it can also be used for business. Now, what are these things? The first is the benefit of strengths, which is crucial in the business world. Your advantages could be effective in advertising, tools that you possess that your rivals lack, or experts that you can train to work under your direction. It might be one of your advantages, or your business's understanding of your good or service might work to your advantage. For instance, you lack a competitive edge over your rivals and are unsure of what to offer the market to allow your rival to engage in healthy competition. Other examples include a lack of knowledge and experience as well as a lack of employees who can work under your direction and support your business's expansion. Or perhaps you lack the funds necessary to invest. How can it work to our advantage? Understanding your areas of weakness acts as a kind of safety net when it comes to exercise. They check their own earnings and watch their own combat movies. The coach keeps an eye on your earnings and makes an effort to preserve them for the upcoming bout. And once you overcome your weaknesses, you'll become an unstoppable force. As for the next opportunity, try to always be aware of it and give it top priority. For instance, back when phones had buttons, Apple and Samsung were the first 2 companies to market touch phones. Nokia made the phone a long time ago, but they failed to recognize the opportunities and continued to produce the same model until it was taken off the market. Therefore, you should always take advantage of opportunities, act on them, and consider whether you are not using them appropriately. You are beaten by rivals, and threats come last. Strive to always be aware of the threats facing your own company. Knowing what can ruin your company is crucial, so it's vital to know whether, for example, the presence of these competitors can lead to the demise of our company. If that's the case, you need to be able to eliminate that threat and find a way to gain a competitive edge. For instance, the same artificial intelligence example I've seen here could pose a threat to many, just as it does to many people who provide software services. Accounting services are widely available. Threats from artificial intelligence are enormous. You now wish to eliminate this danger. In order to provide levels of quality that your competitors cannot match without artificial intelligence, try integrating AI into your own software, services, or business. At that point, by delivering top-notch after-sales care, you can provide more advantages and better support. However, if your rivals have already developed or plan to develop that while you haven't, it's artificial intelligence. Like Nokia, you exit the market and attempt to exercise caution in these matters. If you work alone, check all of this with yourself every 3 months. If you work with a team, try to have a meeting every 3 months. For your own business, list each of the 4 elements, one by one, along with your opportunities, threats, and areas of strength and weakness. And for each of the parameters you write, try to think about a solution to create for it, and after those 3 months try to value those points you wrote and take action on those solutions you wrote to get your own business to a higher level. Now, I want to discuss a crucial business principle in this session that will hurt your business if you don't follow it. You can't have devoted clients, the market isn't worth anything to you, and nobody buys well from you. And that is the case. Key value proposition. It is crucial that you constantly strive to provide a better service and higher quality than your competitors in order to have at least a small competitive advantage. People in business who wish to provide a product or service should always attempt to think beyond the box when it comes to the same product or service that their rivals are offering. Make an effort to be open-minded, to combine your own creativity with your own goods and services, as well as to develop brand new goods and services. Here, creativity is crucial. For instance, you might operate a restaurant instead of what your rivals do. For instance, you might try creating a certain decoration using particular colors, or you might have a simple menu and decor, and attempt to put together a unique menu using only items you have created or invented. Make your services stand out. For instance, I once had a consultation in Vancouver, Canada, some time ago. A restaurant told me to boost sales, and since I didn't see this kind of service in their operation, I suggested that they try. Sales increased significantly. In addition, since the restaurant was 2 stories, I mentioned that those patrons had trouble placing orders to go to the upper floors. You can construct a bar with barbecue areas, place it at each table, and indicate that you can use an oracle to scan the bar to order food and service. The restaurant was open to those who were scanning the bar by the Instagram page, and in the last 3 posts, their food menu was featured. This has 2 benefits now. Firstly, they can eat whatever they want. They asked to see the Instagram page of the restaurant, and we had an offer on the bio page with the note to check out the follow-up page if you had one. You'll receive a $2 to $5 discount, which is why Marufalu is available to customers who have previously trusted us and returned. Additionally, the followers of the page are aware that they are our devoted patrons, potential future customers, and a kind of sales guide. More services is what we wish to sell them. You could see those who follow you and your new foods, which was an added bonus. If you would like to have a festival later on, they can offer you a different meal or a significant discount. The page allows you to report. Fill your restaurant by taking a little time to do so. A lot of the work was original. The customer's ordering process is facilitated by this. Thus, the customer placed an order using the same Instagram directory as soon as it was delivered. The customer and restaurant were able to communicate in a new way thanks to the person in the kitchen who was preparing the food. Both in Texas and Mexico, we carried out this activity. It is carried out in various cities across various nations. Now, allow me to explain this method to you. Attempt to provide a novel kind of service. Provide a novel product and take a unique approach to something that your rivals do not. Try even presenting your advertisement in a visually appealing way. Attempt to keep this important value proposition parameter in mind at all times when running your company. Always give it some thought in the back of your mind. Additionally, examine what you are not focusing on and what others around you are not doing as competitors. Use your own approach and imagination. Offer your own clients a new position if at all possible. To your own, you can eliminate your rivals. This is something that you can benefit greatly from. Take caution if you choose not to. Your company won't fail. If you want to blow up, though, you won't have a lot of sales, so proceed with caution. Apply it to your own company. Hi, I hope all is well with you. I want to show you other strategies that globally successful businesses employ in this session and show you how to put them into practice. Since every marketing branch has a different presentation, some are new and have essentially not been used in years prior. Another one of those relatively new marketing specialties that is becoming very popular is neural marketing. It might be the marketplace's name. However, I'll show you how to do it correctly here. How does neuromarketing work? Neuromarketing attempts to boost your sales by interpreting magnetic waves with the use of EEG and IMF technology. Of course, analyzing certain data, which might call for an expert, is necessary to increase sales with the aid of direct marketing. Typically, scientists attempt to boost brand and company sales using cutting-edge technologies. Neuromarketing technology uses a kind of brain imaging to better understand the steps a customer must take to complete a purchase by trying to understand their motivations and decisions. As previously mentioned, neuromarketing is one of the newest marketing specialties. As such, it was developed later than other specialties. Although the original research for this area of marketing dates back to 1990, it was introduced in 2002 by a professor of marketing from the Netherlands. Uneasy marketing guidelines. I'll tell you the rules for neuromarketing, just like for any other type of marketing. 1. Adopt a we mindset and refrain from talking excessively about your business. 2. Move swiftly and avoid becoming overburdened. 3. Visualize and present your product and service features to the client in an appropriate manner. 4. Explain the product and its attributes in a clear and concrete manner. 5. Make your product advertisements visually appealing at the start and finish, as people tend to focus more on these parts of the advertisement. 6. Make use of your emotions because they inspire curiosity, humor, fear, and mental perseverance. The arguments in favor of neural marketing over traditional marketing to make a sale: you need to employ new marketing strategies because the conventional ones are no longer working. Neuromarketing is another technique that can increase your sales. While there are a lot of benefits to this marketing strategy over traditional marketing, there could also be drawbacks. I'll go over a few of its advantages over conventional marketing next. Considering the wants and needs of every customer. Influenced by the decision of the client with the aid of subconscious and emotional reactions, check if the product or service has satisfied the customer. Assess the customer's emotional responses. Determine the effects of significant changes to products or services. Advertising and marketing with neuromarketing. Today's advertising industry uses neuromarketing for a variety of purposes, some of which are even distinct from one another. For instance, a business might employ neuromarketing to increase sales. However, some businesses are searching for more in addition to increased sales. Each of these subjects is contingent upon the objective of the brand or group. However, there are a lot of overly popular uses for this kind of marketing. As an illustration, applying the findings to market research. Use the outcomes in the packaging and product design. Utilize the findings in pricing and discounting strategies according to the kind of store or website. Utilize the outcomes when providing clients with services. Utilize the outcomes for marketing. Neural approaches to marketing. Every marketing branch typically has its own special approaches and procedures to use. Like other marketing models, neuromarketing has particular strategies that can expedite the process as well as increase performance. Observe consumer behavior using eye tracking is one of the top 5 marketing strategies. Examination of the brain activity of customers. Take note of the various grins on the faces of the patrons. 5 senses are employed. It was possible to employ psychological argumentation and data analysis. Are small businesses fit for neural marketing? All can benefit from sensory marketing, but bear in mind that each company may employ sensory marketing differently and in different ways. Because this kind of marketing is typically very expensive to use, it is typically only available to large brands and companies. Small businesses can certainly use some of the neuromarketing discussion, but they usually cannot employ all of the models and strategies due to their high expense. There are various methods you can employ. At the very least, your company will grow to the point where you can use this incredible technique to its fullest. As previously stated, neuromarketing is probably going to rank among the best marketing strategies in the future. Every day, more and more marketing objectives are met on a global scale, which indicates that this kind of marketing is on the rise. Even though it might not be very cost-effective, I still advise you to start a small business. Examine the promotional strategies. I want to share a sales-boosting strategy with you in this section. Drop-to-drop marketing gives you an extremely effective tool to dramatically boost the sales of your goods or services if you're searching for the best way to boost sales in your company. What does drop marketing entail? A program known as drop marketing involves sending business-related content to target audiences via a framework that is both consistent and changeable. Email, social media posts, postcards, phone calls, brochures, and newspapers can all be used to spread this flow. These resources aid in building potential clients and raising brand awareness for your company. The word marketing comes from the agricultural word drop or check. When using drip irrigation, farmers water their plants frequently but not all the way to the roots. As a result, the plant's root is continuously irrigated rather than drowning in water. Similar to this, the audience in the marketplace constantly gathers information that is helpful to them while also keeping that information separate from them. Actually, when we use a drop marketing strategy, we prepare a mental meal for the audience, helping them to recall our brand when making a purchase. For instance, we can send out brochures at the start of each season to inform customers about new products or entice them to repurchase the company's goods and services when we want to market a new one. According to research, sending frequent, personalized emails to target and existing customers can significantly boost brand sales. Drop and check marketing allows businesses to cut down on the amount of time spent selling their goods or services by up to 23%. Purple marketing helps you remember your brand name all the time. You can probably hope that customers will remember your name and choose to do business with you when they make a purchase if you can stay in contact with them at all times. Customers are likely to forget about drop-down and check-and-drop marketing techniques if you don't use them. Customers stop buying from them and instead turn to their rivals. Drop marketing should be used in your company for the following 4 reasons. He pays you attention all the time. Those who are interested in your brand are shared with via drop marketing campaigns. Therefore, you can always draw the audience's attention to yourself with this kind of marketing. Effective communication is something you can develop. By providing consistent and pertinent information for inquiry, you can establish the foundation of trust. You can persuade the audience to buy now if you choose the appropriate moment. Your message serves as a reminder if you give the customer accurate and pertinent information at the appropriate moment. For instance, your chances of making a sale to a customer increase significantly if you send them a message during a major auction. Purchasing through the marketing method has a very high probability. People are targeted as possible clients in this way, which raises the response rate of those individuals. Stated differently, there is a significantly higher chance that a message sent to a recipient who has expressed interest in your product will result in a sale than in the case of a large volume of messages sent to an uninterested recipient. Marketing campaign types. Drop marketing is an effective tool for your company's customer care team, sales, and marketing. I'll provide a number of examples below if you want to run your drop-down marketing campaign with more creativity, foremost in mind customers who aren't ready to buy or engaged with primary drop marketing. This kind of campaign will stick in the minds of potential buyers. The primary drop marketing campaign happens over an extended period of time. This kind of campaign's content highlights values that are significant to the target audience. This kind of campaign can take many forms, such as infographics, videos, webinars, blog entries, white papers, and news articles about the sector. Campaign for education. This kind of campaign can provide new and potential customers with helpful product information. Campaign for re-engagement. Not every member of your audience will purchase from you or react favorably to your advertising. Some of your potential clients might be blocked at any point. For such advantageous clients, a drop-down campaign to re-interact is carried out. Getting these customers to move and rejoin the shopping cycle is the aim of such a campaign. Try creating a new white paper or an impactful blog post to help this campaign succeed. Or even create a fantastic case study or interactive piece of content. A marketing campaign. That is the objective of a competitive drop marketing campaign, is to highlight the interests and values of brands and products in order to set them apart from those of competitors. In this sense, it should stress the negative effects of not using the product or service in addition to emphasizing its advantages. Arrange your content so that it highlights the audience's top needs and priorities first. Favored marketing initiative. Your audience may start to have second thoughts about their purchase when they are nearing the end of the transaction. At this point, a specific price reduction or extra capability must be provided based on each customer's needs. They doubt and they will continue to doubt. Marketing training. You should use emails in this kind of campaign to persuade the audience to sign up for training sessions. You can give useful tips and tools to enhance the brand's digital marketing strategy by holding training sessions. Drop-down or drop marketing campaigns require careful planning and work to be successful. It takes more than just sending out a lot of emails to make an impact. Here is a list of some things you should do. Have a specific, well-defined objective in mind. You must establish your goals following each action in order to run a successful campaign, as each goal requires a unique approach. Organize the section. You must tailor each of your campaigns to a particular audience if you want them to be more successful. Plan multiple campaigns because different groups of people have distinct needs and concerns. Make quality content. Any email campaign's content is its most crucial component. You can communicate positively if you can create comprehensive and outstanding content. Ensure that your content is succinct and pertinent. Ascertain the duration and quantity of sends. Every email's frequency and timing must be coordinated with the campaign. While there isn't a set rule regarding when and how often a campaign should run, in general, you should start with emails that have an unlimited number of sends before limiting them. Determine statistics and indicators. Campaigns via email are regarded as long-term investments. Throughout the campaign, you will also need to choose various rates. Once the results are in, evaluate whether the campaign is on track by comparing them to performance goals and indicators. Create a campaign at all times, without fail. Now that you have the data and outcomes, you should use them to keep refining and optimizing the campaign so that you stay within a reasonable distance of your main objectives. Drop and drop marketing is used by both big and small businesses across various industries. The majority of businesses that sell their products or services directly to customers or other parties typically employ this kind of marketing. Every business wants its clients to remember them. They therefore remind them that they will return to them for their next purchase by employing this kind of marketing. Businesses whose goods and services are not typically required by customers on a daily basis are generally more in need of drop marketing. These categories include real estate, insurance, and vehicle dealers. One term for drop-less marketing is brand feeding and remembering. You can entice both present and new clients to make repeat purchases in this way. Always let them know when your branded good or service is available. Maintaining this in mind at all times will help you run a successful campaign. Hello, this session is about the principles and rules of branding, which you must understand if you want to be successful in business. If you can't conjure up a single, distinct image in your head, know that you're not alone. Conversely, a more focused brand gains more power when you hear the name of the brand, which is the first image that comes to mind. The name Renault won't make you think of a car because the company makes a wide range of goods, from tiny, affordable cars to large, opulent cars. One excellent illustration of the law of expansion is Revolt, the first legal principle we will look at. A brand loses focus and strength as it broadens its range of activities, according to the law of expansion. This law allows us to explain the reason behind the ruby's decreasing power. Like most businesses, the company has prioritized short-term earnings. By growing its business, the company was able to increase sales of cars in the short term, but what at first appeared to be a wise move ultimately backfired because it damaged the reputation of the brand. Sales of the company's automobiles rose from 1.5 million in 1987 to 0.83 million in 2001. The second rule is that a company's brand gets stronger when it concentrates on its operations. Take the abbreviation law, for instance, shortage of stores. Despite the fact that there are millions of stores in the United States, there aren't many successful chain stores there. From the outset, the explanation appears straightforward. Food stores normally sell almost anything and everything, including sandwiches, soups, breads, muffin cakes, donuts, cookies, ice cream, drinks, newspapers, and lottery tickets. An illustration of a national brand is the business Savoy. This company's expansion is an illustration of the second law, known as the abbreviation. In 1965, Adam Delacine established the business. In the grocery industry, he adopted a trailblazing strategy by rapidly narrowing the range of products to just one staple, a particular kind of long sandwich. This astute decision helped the business achieve extraordinary success. Only McDonald's could surpass the company's 12,629 store openings by 2001 throughout the United States. Similar to the Savoy brand, the most identifiable brands are those that concentrate on a specific product and serve as a kind of reminder or representation of it. Because of this, the common law asserts that product names that are heavily branded are associated with specific items or concepts. For instance, the high-end Swiss watch brand Rolex commands a premium price. If someone is looking for an expensive Swiss watch, they will choose Rolex over its rivals if their brand and concept are more compelling. Even if Bernie is a multi-product retailer similar to Walmart. However, Walmart is focused on a specific concept, and each product on the box represents the company's ideas and values based on a focus on delivering goods at low prices. This is how Bernie's success is possible. In the United States, there are thousands of advertising agencies. If you ask someone who works there, what is the card? It's likely that you'll learn that they are employed in the branding industry. These individuals are unaware that while advertising helps a brand remain visible on the market, it cannot outperform rival brands. This is about the law of reputation, which states that a company's reputation law for branding and attaining success must be acknowledged by the public in order to enter the languages and become well known. Branding is more about advertising than it is about reputation. It is renowned for having the bloodstream's oxygenation order. Without it, brands have little chance of success in a crowded and cutthroat market. Being the industry leader in a given field is one way to guarantee the reputation and recognition of your brand. New and developing brands continue to be present in people's daily lives and draw attention from the media. For instance, the business was able to swiftly identify individuals and produce the first copy machine. There is not as much success as when a regular product is introduced into a saturated market. Miller invested $50 million in advertising to support his beer brand, Miller Regular, for the sample. Since the company's product lacked any innovations or fresh features. Less than a year after the company was established, the brand vanished completely due to its inability to draw in customers. Since advertising doesn't help on its own, let's return to the topic of advertising law to discuss the extent of advertising's negative effects. This law states that the goal of advertising is to protect a brand's interests when it is first entering the market. Even the most effective public relations campaigns eventually come to an end and vanish, even though following the law of popularity is crucial in the initial stages of branding and helps people get over their tongues. Nothing endures indefinitely. It's time to shift gears and shift toward advertising to solidify your position once the initial thought about your brand has faded. In their advertising campaigns, businesses frequently make the error of highlighting how much better their products are than those of their rivals. However, history demonstrates that this does not incentivize consumers to do so. Instead, What they want to know is that a product is the best in its category, not that it is superior to another. This is the foundation of successful businesses. They advertise their blueberry as the beer king in the marketplace and declare their headline to be the best in the tires. Create a new product group and submerge your brand in an idea. A notable attribute of influential brands is the presence of positive connotations in their name. For instance, when people hear the name Mercedes-Benz, credibility is typically the first word that comes to mind. Every business that is embarking on a branding journey must present a sound plan in order to achieve this, and its brand name is selected as a conceptual name. It's common advice for businesses to concentrate solely on their brand's strongest attributes, but what matters most is to pair the brand name with ideas that capture the essence of the brand. If a business can accomplish this effectively, it will become the proprietor of the idea and term. Honda, for instance, has established the quality of the engineering in its cars and has elevated the term engineering to a new level. For brands, taking an idea and familiarizing yourself with a particular word is highly beneficial. However, it would be even more advantageous if Bernie could brand a specific category of goods. Think about clinic branding, for instance. Because Kleenex was the first company to produce pocket towels, the brand name is synonymous with a product like paper towels, and people continue to use it even when discussing the products of Kleenex competitors. As we previously stated, the abbreviation law dictates that the more attention you pay to your brand, the more the classification law goes beyond that and requires you to restrict your focus area until there is no more marketing for your brand. In fact, this presents you with the chance to establish a new category and be the first brand in which the category generates interest and sales. You ought to think about growing the market rather than acquiring greater market share. Consider the domino of pizza. Domino's succeeded in forcing pizza delivery to consumers' doors. The law of classification emphasizes that you should market your craft rather than just thinking about growing and promoting your own brand. It's true that doing so will assist rivals who have begun their operations in this category, but you still need to do this. Consumers are only concerned with the benefits they received in exchange for the money they earned despite facing numerous obstacles. They don't care which business provides them with the good or service they desire. For instance, if you concentrate on the entire range rather than just your own product and brand, people will not care whether your domain or another business delivers their pizzas to their homes swiftly and comfortably. In the short term, your business might not be very advanced, but in the long run, it will help the market develop that specific product group to draw in more customers and offer more lucrative opportunities. Once a specific product group's market has grown, it's time to fight with rivals to increase market share. The following law, the law of aid on the same topic, gives a brand more trading opportunities through the laws of aid competition. Customers are drawn to markets with competition because it gives them the freedom to choose, and having competitors makes that market more appealing. However, if brandy operates in a market that is not highly competitive, consumers may have second thoughts and believe that it offers a service or product that no other company has, so beware of your rivals. Take the rivalry between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, for instance, which helped to establish these two companies' non-alcoholic beverage categories. Trust in a brand is bolstered by credibility and quality. If you are in a remote neighborhood and you are hungry and want to eat out, you will likely see two restaurants in front of you, one is empty and the other is busy. Depending on which restaurant you choose, you will undoubtedly have to wait in line. Here's an illustration of credibility. When you can establish your credibility and demonstrate the authenticity of your brand, branding works. To be believable, your assertion needs to be supported by evidence. You can substantiate your initial claim with further claims if it is true. Once more, let's use the example of two eateries where the proprietors, who are busy, were previously recognized as well-liked dining destinations. Most prospective customers are likely to believe them if they say they serve the healthiest food in the city. They will convince themselves that there must be a reason the restaurant is so well known. Staking a claim to market leadership is a tried-and-true method of increasing credibility. Success requires being at the forefront of the market. Customers will simply reject you if you are not the market leader and go in the direction of the leader. Remember the rules for classification and abbreviations. It's not necessary to lead a large market. In the automobile industry, for instance, you can establish new categories and lead a smaller market. It doesn't matter how big the market is, what matters is that you, as a trailblazer in a very respectable industry, will be its leader. Keep in mind that you cannot simply earn credit by claiming it, rather, you must fulfill your obligation to your clients by providing them with high-quality goods or services. However, there is a tax point regarding quality to which you ought to give consideration. The law of quality states that while quality matters, consumers place greater value on a brand's ability to stand for quality and provide high-quality goods like chocolate and Pepsi. While most consumers favor Coca-Cola, blind taste tests reveal that Pepsi tastes better than its rivals. However, the products' names are kept anonymous. This example shows that there is typically little correlation between a brand's success and the caliber of its offerings. When developing your brand, make use of the law of abbreviation, keep your brand's focus as narrow as possible, and carry out small-scale, targeted marketing to increase the likelihood that potential customers will view you as having a high-quality brand. Raising your prices is another easy but effective strategy. Just focus on Rolls-Royce automobiles and Rolex watches. People view these brands as symbols of quality because of their high cost, which has severely damaged their credibility. A strong brand in its own right, steadily step. A lot of brands enjoy playing around with their product production lines and adding auxiliary items to their product lineup. For instance, in an attempt to increase profits, a company that first made mayonnaise juice is now racing to create side products like mayonnaise and low-fat mayonnaise juices. In actuality, this does not imply that it is a wise course of action. When you visit a grocery store, you will notice that there are many byproducts in cages, all of which are produced in the hopes of making more money. According to research, 25% of all products in a store haven't been discounted in at least a month. This is the point at which the byproduct development law is realized. As per this legislation, the creation of byproducts not only contributes to the production of non-saleable products but also enhances a brand's reputation. While creating new products and being innovative are not mistakes, it is important to proceed wisely in this area. Developing side products can be an excellent way to launch a new company because there is a market for them and customers for them. However, a common error made by businesses is to advertise new goods under their established brand names. This implies that fresh products with fresh branding ought to be released onto the market. The primary motivation behind creating ancillary products and marketing them under the current brand name is that the brand becomes less authentic and credible, and consumers are left unsure of how to identify it. It is at this point that the significance of the following law, the law of stability, becomes clear. This law states that following a specific path over time and remaining consistent are the best ways to succeed and develop a strong brand. Concentrate on and maintain your brand area. This law also implies that the only way to succeed is to withstand the urge to add new products. Take Volvo, the Swedish self-driving car manufacturer that has been producing dependable and conventional cars for the past 30 years. Customers of Volvo cars were aware of what to anticipate from them, and Volvo prioritized their safety. Previously, the company attempted to produce electric cars and enter more interesting market segments. After consumers lost interest in the Volvo brand, his previous brand began to erode. Having said that, you might be considering growing your business and your options. As we previously discussed in Buckley, expanding your company only when it doesn't negatively impact your brand identity is a bad business strategy. The next law pertaining to the same subject is known as the law of underbrands, and it is called the establishment of sub-brands. If you want to develop your brand, however, you must do what some brands have already passed. Sub-branding undermines your branding accomplishments and jeopardizes your brand identity according to the law of brands. When Holiday Inn decided to grow and enter the luxury hotel market, it created a new brand called Holiday Inn Crowne Plaza. Holiday Inn is a leader in hotels and vacation rentals and a prime example of the underlying risks of this strategy. The committee members were presented with the idea, but it was unsuccessful. Consumers who stayed at less expensive Holiday Inn hotels had no desire to stay in a more upscale setting. The business discovered this after surveying its clientele. During their stay at the Crowne Plaza hotels, customers felt that the price they paid for a hotel bearing the Hallway brand was extremely expensive. Following that, the business made the decision to introduce its hotel chain under a totally different name from the Swiss one. Hence, the establishment of a new brand rather than a sub-brand can be a successful business development strategy. However, the law of the new brand family stipulates that they must be differentiated from the old brand. This law is also known as the brand family strategy. Establishing a new brand requires the proper circumstances. Every brand needs its own distinct identity to succeed. Every brand needs to be steadfast in its own definitions and values, just like adult family members who are all responsible for their own lives. With 7 distinct brands, Time, a media company and magazine publisher, has seen tremendous success in its sector. Time is an example of a company that has effectively employed the brand family approach. Time's company has done a good job of making sure that new brands are created without considering the influence of their mother's brand when naming their products. For instance, Time for Business declined to name the company's intended business magazine because doing so would have meant the new brand losing its unique identity. Rather, they launched a brand new magazine called Fortune with distinctive features. The law of boundaries is the next law. Entering new markets in various global sectors is another successful business expansion strategy that respects the law of borders and doesn't harm the main brand. Rather than concentrating on creating new ancillary products or sub-brands, international development enables you to grow your brand without weakening or damaging its power. You can expand into a new market while maintaining your original brand. Your brand's logo should set you apart from the competition. It's time to discuss the significance of a logo in branding. To put it simply, a well-designed logo is misleading. It is challenging and demands a great deal of skill to create a straightforward and memorable logo that sets Bernie apart from a rival. Designing a great logo requires adhering to the law of shape. This rule states that you should create your logo with the viewer's eyes in mind. Think about the human face. The line of sight in humans is horizontal. The most striking logos are those that correspond with this line. To be more exact, these logos should ideally have a width of 2.25 units and a height of 1 unit of length. Additionally, the logo features a straightforward design that clients can easily perceive. It's far superior to a logo with a cluttered, intricate, and bewildering design, but a logo's overall arrangement isn't all that important. The kind of word design contained within the logo is equally striking. Even so, the logo's use of a distinctive and intricate font highlights the brand's individuality. However, there's always a chance that someone will read the logo, so it's preferable to use the same straightforward design to communicate the words themselves. That's precisely what a straightforward yet powerful Rolex logo achieves. Advertisement billboards demonstrate that brands employ strategies beyond design to set themselves apart from rivals. The most painful of all is using contrasted colors, which is one of the best ways to set your brand apart from your competitors, according to the color law. Because the more established brands with a longer history were able to select a specific color. In this case, if you have a preference for a particular color, use it to identify the marketing group you work with. Coca-Cola is perfect in this regard, because the brown hue of their favorite red beverage is synonymous with Coca-Cola red labels. That is why they were chosen. However, Pepsi had to choose a different course of action because Coca-Cola was using a red propeller, and Pepsi chose to set itself apart by adding blue lines to the red. However, this was not the outcome. Pepsi and Coca-Cola could not be distinguished from one another by the company's labels. Pepsi had to reconsider its design and transform blue into a specific color, which proved to be quite challenging. What name should you choose for your brand now that we have looked at how a brand appears? I will continue to respond to your query. Since the brand name is, in your opinion, the most crucial component of a brand, it should be brief, distinct, meaningful, and unique. One of the most crucial choices a business must make is naming their brand. The perception that consumers have of your company is directly tied to its name. What qualities does a brand name have? The company's brand, for instance, is short and distinctive because it introduced the first copy machine in 1959. The term advanced technology also included the name Jerome because of the company's high quality and inventive devices, but this was not a sustainable topic. Competitors of the company at the start of the third millennium provided goods that were on par with Xerox's in terms of quality. The company's short, distinctive name was the only thing that helped it survive. This exemplifies the lesson that the law of common names, also known as generics, imparts to us. Companies that choose a common name for themselves are bound to fail under this law. You should be aware that common names don't have a lot of power. For instance, people quickly forget about generic health supplement brands like Nature's, Nietzsche Answer, and Nature's Secret. These names have the drawback of being unidentifiable and distinctive amidst the sea of names. The names of the most prosperous contemporary chain stores are all nondescriptive and non-general. Among those names are Starbucks, Walmart, and McDonald's. Discovering an original name doesn't always mean coming up with it yourself. Sometimes a word chosen and used in a unique way will do the trick to set a brand apart. This works particularly well when the word presents to people the primary focus of a business. For instance, Baghdad Car Rental stands out due to its name, which accurately conveys the company's primary offering of inexpensive car rentals. Although the word baggage is frequently used in financial matters, the company has managed to trademark it. The company law states that the brand name and the company name must be kept distinct to prevent misunderstandings. The company name should never be confused with the brand. Procter & Gamble has done a good job of adhering to this law. Additionally, each company has a unique brand name that is always associated with it. For example, the Tide brand name is easily and conspicuously displayed on product packaging, but the company name is printed in a small font beneath the packaging, unidentified. As I've mentioned previously, maintaining stability and attention to detail in the brand domain is crucial, but what happens if a change needs to be made within your company? The law of change provides the answer to this question, which states that changing jobs should only be done when there is no risk and nothing to lose. It's time to make a change when your brand is unrecognizable, unsustainable, and has run its course. You should also consider reaching the end of your current market reach. When you can cut your prices because your profit margin is so large, that's another excellent time to make a change. As previously stated, consumers typically associate high prices with high quality, but low prices do not always equate to low quality or damage a brand's reputation. For instance, Marlboro took precisely the same action after maintaining its standing as a producer of pricey, premium cigarettes even after its costs decreased. Customers of Comic-Con were aware of the product's quality, and they also had an impression of the brand due to its affordability. When you are prepared to make a change and patiently build your brand is when it makes the most sense to make a change. Progressively rebuilding their brand is an example of how brands can establish new credibility without negatively affecting consumers' perceptions of them. Citigroup is one example of a company that has done this. 80% of the brand's clients were businesses when it was first established as a corporate bank. In the 1970s, the bank made the decision to enter the real customer market, and over the course of 25 years, the brand underwent such significant transformation that roughly 70% of its clients are actual people. However, although brands are malleable, their evolution is finite. Unquestionably, the final law of branding, the law of compulsion, teaches us that brands have a life cycle and eventually die. Products come and go, markets are always busy, and new technologies are changing entire industries. The same thing that happened to a group of laundry soap brands like Renzo in the middle of the 20th century will eventually force older brands to make room for younger, taller flying competitors. After a while, more recent laundry brands like Tide dominated the market, and if you found yourself in Reno's shoes, the older brands quickly vanished. Eliminating the damage as soon as possible is the best course of action. Launch a new company and return to the competitive arena. It can be challenging to do this. Erroneously, most businesses are attempting to preserve their expiring brands. Like a brand of Codex, such an action is likewise expensive and regrettably ineffectual. Comic-Con thought its core market, photography with audiovisual, could continue to grow and develop even after the digital photography market took off. Kodak stuck to its plan and used the funds to purchase an advanced imaging system or advanced system. The plan required the company stores to spend millions of dollars installing equipment that was difficult to implement in the market during the digital revolution and failed in order to give customers more opportunities to print photos. You need to be able to brand correctly in order to have a strong brand, and these timeless branding guidelines are just what you need. The most powerful brands are aware that meaning is derived from the viewer's perception of beauty. A brand's ability to draw in customers is crucial, so having a precise and unambiguous message is essential if you want to stand out from the competition and leave a lasting impression. What sets you apart from your rivals is a strong brand that concentrates on your industry, stays on course, and reminds consumers of a good idea just by hearing your name. A brand is much more significant than just its name and logo. A strong brand has a unique and memorable name, and its logo is straightforward, horizontal, and instantly recognizable. I'll give you a tip: stand out by using color. Color lets you capitalize on common symbolic communications, which makes it an excellent tool for self-differentiation. For instance, because green has a strong connection to nature, it might be a good choice if you sell food and health products. However, if you sell luxury goods, it might be better to go with the blush color, which stands for glory and empire. Compared to other colors, white might be preferable for therapeutic products due to its symbol of purity. Naturally, I'll provide you with additional color information so you can utilize it to make a more informed decision. We want to discuss a key value proposition in this session because it is crucial for businesses to try to have an advantage over their rivals. If you don't follow these principles, the market won't be valuable to you, no one will buy from you, and you won't be able to build a loyal clientele. It is crucial that you constantly strive to outperform your rivals in terms of productivity and the caliber of a novel product or packaging. Those in the business world who wish to sell goods or services should consider the same goods and services that their competitors provide, but instead of thinking narrowly, they should be open-minded and willing to incorporate their own creativity into the creation of new goods and services. For instance, if you own a restaurant, try differentiating the services you offer by creating a unique menu and decorating with specific colors, as opposed to what your competitors do, which is to have a simple menu. A restaurant in Vancouver, Canada, that I had advised to boost sales was one of the places I had advised a few years prior. I suggested that they implement this service model since I hadn't seen it used in their industry and the potential for profit was substantial. The restaurant was 2 stories, so it was also difficult for those customers to order to go to the upper levels. I suggested that they create a bar and place it on each table with instructions to scan the bar to order food and service. As they were scanning, the restaurant's Instagram page opened for orders, and the last 3 photos that were favorited were their menu. There are 2 benefits to this. Firstly, anyone wishing to ask me in the restaurant will undoubtedly notice that we have an offer on our Instagram page. We mentioned on our bio page that those who purchase fallow would receive a $2 to $5 discount. This is because fallow is only available to those who have previously trusted us and visited us as customers. Individuals who follow that page are our devoted patrons and may prove to be valuable future clients. They may also hint at the possibility that we will provide more services and increase sales. Another benefit of this has been that you can post information about your new foods here, and those who do so will be notified whenever you introduce a new dish, celebrate a holiday, or wish to offer a campaign discount. And express people and fill your restaurant for a brief period of time. It was an innovative job that made it easier to get your order. Additionally, it ordered for the customer via the same Instagram directory, and as soon as the director arrived, the person in charge of the kitchen prepared the food, which was a novel form of communication between the restaurant and the patron. In fact, this type of strategy was implemented in major global restaurants, in Texas, in Mexico, in various cities, across various countries, and it was completely free of charge. However, I'd like to share with you a useful method to try to provide a novel kind of service. Provide a novel category of goods. Try presenting your advertisements in a way that will draw attention, do something that your rivals aren't doing, and make sure that this parameter is your key value proposition at every stage of your company's development. This can be very beneficial to you, but you should be cautious. If you do not take this action, your business will not fail, but you will not have high sales. If you want to make an explosive sale, take care of this. Be sure to consider and try to always think a corner of your mind in check with yourself and analyze that the people that are around your focus do not act as competitors and what things they do not pay attention to. You come to the same things and engage your own creativity in it to show you a new job offer to your own customers that your competitive customers also kill to you.